The head of the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Andrew McKellar. He joins me live from Sydney. Andrew, from a business perspective, do you welcome the idea that there would be and will be one cyber coordinator and essentially be a one-stop shop for business to then engage with, as opposed to multiple arms of government?
Well, yes, so good afternoon, Kieran. Indeed, look, I think this was an extremely constructive discussion facilitated by the Prime Minister. They did indeed bring a range of different perspectives and a lot of expertise to the table. There's no doubt that this is an ever-evolving challenge, a very significant challenge, a big risk to the... Seen how some of those high-profile recent attacks have played out and the damage that it can cause. So I think business very much welcomes the push by the government to put in place a leading coordinator to get a common approach across government and across different layers of government. So I think this is something that business will be very strongly supportive of.
When you look at your membership, I was reading that only 1 in 5 small businesses, for example, are confident about their own cybersecurity. That's a bit of a worry.
Well, indeed. I mean, this is an issue that doesn't just affect big business, of course. Through the pandemic over recent years, we've seen the level of digital uptake increasing greatly. Many businesses are very reliant on those sorts of technologies, being online now on an everyday basis. We know that level of confidence is quite low, and we know that the amount that businesses are spending, small businesses on average, are only spending about $500 a year. So there's a lot that needs to be done here to really make sure that we are getting up to speed, that we're minimising that risk. We can never be fully safe, but of course there's a lot that we can do to improve the level of security on these issues.
When it comes to the business approach, how much just simple guidelines going to help? Is something like that going to be a massive improvement, just to make things a bit more simple for businesses to follow? Because as we know, and you and I have discussed, a lot of those organisations we're talking about, they don't have cyber staff or experts to call upon.
Well, I think it's going to be a multifaceted approach, and this was one of the key messages that I heard today. Clearly the development of standards, consistent regulation, so that for those companies that have to go through a lot of those checks and balances, this is something that they can work with quite efficiently and understand their responsibilities, implement those systems. So that's obviously very important. Of course, better knowledge, better communication on best practice, the rollout of technologies, working with many of the software suppliers, integration with government in those systems. That's going to be important. And even topics like insurance, making sure that we've got affordable, effective insurance coverage so that if you are affected, you've got the ability to respond quickly, to be supported and get your business back up and running. All of these things are absolutely fundamental.
The workforce issue is a big one, though, isn't it? There are shortages right across the economy, and the tech industry is not immune to that. Do you see a role for upskilling a lot of the workers and business owners in the industry, in small business, to help empower them?
Very much so. I think here ensuring that our skills and training system is bringing people through with the computing, software engineering skills that are required to really take forward our national capability. That's going to be essential. Our immigration system, making sure that is also responsive, because the number of jobs that are going to be needed in this space, it's growing on a yearly basis, and we've got to really move quickly if we're going to keep up with that sort of demand.
And do you feel, as you said earlier, it was a successful roundtable, but are there steps now with which you feel comfortable with where the government's heading? We know there's this coordinator. They're talking about a new cybersecurity act or a revamped act. Do you feel that the pathway is now set to provide greater assurance, both not at the big corporate level, say of an Optus, but for your members as well?
Well, I think the most reassuring thing today is that government is taking this seriously, that they're putting the resources in, that there is that central point of coordination, and that you have people sitting around the cabinet table who understand the absolutely critical importance of these issues. So I think that's very encouraging. Of course, there's a lot of work to be done. You know, we'll see the strategy in development and hopefully being finalised later this year. There is a lot of expertise being brought to that process. So, you know, this is a very significant risk to our economy, to individuals, to businesses, even to government. So, you know, it's going to take a major investment. But I think today was a very important signal that government, business are working together to move forward on these issues.
Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry Chief Andrew McKellar, great to see you as always. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.